I'm at the battery show today with Sam Haberl, one of Our Next Energy's vice presidents. We're hearing an awful lot about battery cell shortages in the US, but Our Next Energy is getting ready to start production. Sam, tell me about your production ramp up. When are the cells going to be available to manufacturers?
Absolutely. So we are ramping up very quickly. We got lucky as a company and we found a building that was mostly finished when we decided to kick off cell manufacturing.
Yep.
So by the end of this year, we'll be at megawatt hour scale for LFP cells. And by the end of next year, we'll be at gigawatt hour scale for LFP cells.
Can you give us an idea who your first customers are going to be?
Yeah. So in terms of that megawatt hour prototype line, we're capable of making many cells. So we're using that for business development and expanding into many markets as folks are testing a new battery manufacturer. And on the gigawatt hour scale, our first couple of customers are related to class 3 through 8 trucking, bringing in the batteries to those big heavy spaces. We've got the energy dense batteries that works well in that situation. And then we're taking advantage of that trucking pack and we've redesigned it to do a utility pack as well that's along the wall here. And this hits 3.5 megawatt hours in a 20-foot container. And so we've created a wonderful dense energy product for the utility space.
So we hear a lot about lithium-ion batteries. Are LFP cells the kind you manufacture also lithium-ion?
Yes. So they're all lithium-ion batteries. If you think about it in like a broad term, it's kind of like everything is whiskey, but Scotch and bourbon are very different. So they're all using lithium ions, but the lithium ion folks generally think of are made with what's called metal oxide cells, and they're using nickel and manganese and cobalt and aluminum. Those cells are energy dense, but they tend to release oxygen under abuse. That leads to your fire risk and your propagation. For us with LFP, the lithium iron phosphate, in that cell in particular, that oxygen is bound up too tightly with phosphorus, and so it doesn't tend to release oxygen, leading to a much safer and much more durable cell.
So if I think about how commercial vehicles are used, that's a pretty demanding environment. A lot of stopping and starting, a lot of hauling heavy loads. If your LFP cells work really well in commercial, does that mean that they'll work well in Teslas and GM cars and all that?
Absolutely. So you can take the same base chemistry and you can tune it to be more of an energy type cell for that kind of heavy trucking or in the grid utility. And then by changing the way that you do your active material deposition and the number of layers inside a cell, you can retune it to be more of an automotive cell. So along the wall here, you'll see our Aries 2 is LFP more designed for passenger automotive. This creates amazing fast charge opportunities, very long cycle life, and a key development for Our Next Energy has been we are now able to take LFP cells and package them inside the box in a way that takes full advantage of that space, where we're now competing with those traditional lithium-ion, the nickel, manganese, cobalt, in terms of range. Previously, folks were using LFP for their 200 to 250 mile cars. We can now make it go 300, 350, and 400 miles with LFP.
Okay, last question, and the one you're probably dreading the most. When will we see an LFP cell in a car, in a consumer car? One of your cells?
One of our cells.
Yes.
Like they're in consumer cars today.
Okay.
For us, I would say that's about speed with automakers. So we're in very good conversations with all of them. We have BMW as an investor that we're doing demonstrations with, and lots of conversations. 80% of our company is sitting here in Metro Detroit, and a lot of us coming from the automotive sector. And so in that global vehicle development plan, as we hit the right milestones, then you'll see them coming out.
For more about Our Next Energy and other battery matters here at the show, go to autonews.com, www.autonews.com.